Trickstabs, an iconic technique shrouded in an enigma amongst aspiring spy mains. It is a term used for either of the following. Number 1. To refer to a clever maneuver that the spies performed in order to trick his opponent into showing his back. Or number 2. To undermine the fact as to which that backstab should in any case have not registered. Most that have referred to number 2 will go into their anime villain mode and attempt to educate you on how interp settings work, whether or not you know it already. They will also tell you when you exhale, let out carbon dioxide. Fast forward to contemporary Team Fortress 2, our player base has evolved to easily be able to tell who is a spy or not, and have adapted to the trickstab techniques where it is now only used as a last-ditch effort of escape. In most cases, that is. Today I, Canuck Crisis, a veteran spy main, will present a couple new forms of trickstabs I have discovered today, and hopefully you will be able to implement them into your gameplay. Disclaimer, most of the footage you are about to see here was recorded on Hightower, and may be reused from my old videos as well. Be prepared with a notebook and pencil. For our starting footage, I am fighting a demo man who brought himself into a room with a health kit, and I move towards his back. The stab I would get, however, makes for a good reference for spy mains to start creating their own trickstabs, as it demonstrates the forgiving-unforgiving hitboxes where a spy can get his stabs. I labeled this as the reference stab. However, I wouldn't call this exactly something new, but it should give you guys a good idea of the fundamentals of these stabs, which would lead us to something new right here. In this piece of footage, I am fighting a demo knight alongside a scout. Using my movement, I trick him into spinning his mouse around before I go to his right side and get the back stab. I call this the ring around the rosy stab, and no, this is not a face stab. Anyone thinks otherwise will face my wrath through a forced education of interp set. As you can see here, I see an enemy spy standing outside my spawn, so I decide to engage him while I'm outside his field of view. At least that's what I think, as he seems oblivious to my presence, so I, like any other spy main, would take advantage of that. I go in and phase right through him, and get the stab. I call this the ghost stab. The technique involves phasing through players to get to their back and then stabbing them. An alternate version of this kind of stab is shown here in this footage. It is ambiguous as to whether or not the scout can actually see me. He goes for the health kit, and I attempt to stop him in his tracks. I am phasing into him, while at the same time copying his movement patterns, and eventually I backstab him. I call this the stalking ghost stab. These stabs, however, might come off as almost impossible to pull off. However, there is in fact an easier version for these kinds of stabs that you can pull off in servers that have cheats enabled. To do this, you bind a key to AddCon77, as in the number of people killed by Anders Breivik. This command will turn you into a ghost. You also bind a second key to remove Con77 to get out of your ghost mode when you need to. You can then trick people into thinking you are an intangible ghost until you get out of your ghost mode and stab them. This is similar to how Breivik tricked most of his victims into thinking he was a police officer. I call this the anti-socialist style ghost stab. Before you say anything, yes, this is an understab. However, it is a very specific type of understab. It is an understab that requires you to be in very specific circumstances. It must include the following. The victim must be dominating you, and is exposure jumping. You are at full health, you are playing on Skyle Hightower, and you have an anime profile picture. You can choose any anime profile picture you want, however. I chose mine to be Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia eating a hamburger. In conclusion, hopefully this brings inspiration for my fellow spy mains to start getting creative with their trickstabs and encouraging them to fight against the adaptation of the player base. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and add me on Snapchat.